Well, this video introduces a very short article on the Celts in Britain prior to the Roman invasion. In teaching about the Celts, which usually takes place in year 3 in a school, generally we only go about the artefacts and the understanding we have of the village life that they may have had. There's no attempt to reconstruct any real history of the kings of this period or the governmental structures. And that's because we have abandoned any attempt to use the literature that we do have on this. The literature that we do have would come from people like Geoffrey of Monmouth. And Geoffrey of Monmouth was writing in the 13th century, and he claimed to have been looking at records from the Welsh church and others in the Welsh period that would cover this whole Celtic civilization. Because when the Saxons came, the only civilization that survived the Saxon invasions after the Romans left were the Welsh. And so if we're going to look for records of actual history, that's going to be found in the Welsh annals. Well, historians of the last 2 to 3 centuries have generally accused Geoffrey of Monmouth of forgery, which is understandable because quite a lot of the medieval works that we look to, such as the things about King Arthur, probably were forgeries. But it may well be the case that the work that we have on Geoffrey of Monmouth is in fact correct, in which case we have potentially a very good record of the English kings prior to the Roman conquest. But probably of most interest is the fact that if we then look at the records that Geoffrey of Monmouth claims to say we have names of people that go right back to the time of Noah. Now, this is not unique. Bill Cooper, in his book After the Flood, talks about many cultures, the Vikings, the Saxons, etc., also have records that refer to names that we find in the early chapters of the Bible from the post-flood genealogies. In which case we have now independent evidence that the Bible is in fact a valid and accurate revelation from God, because the ancient tribes trace their origins to those people who left the ark after the flood. So not only do we have a rich history of Britain, but we also now have evidence for the flood. Well, thank you for listening.